You must truly see this thing for how it is, how every layer of reality is making this up. How you live in the mind, but it's also from a concept of what is, but what is more powerful than the concept that is within the mind. So you leave the concept and you come more into what is. And from there, you could say you're enlightened, or you're dimming the ego. You see, all this is coming more into presence, is coming more into awareness, coming more into authenticity. This is it. What comes, the biggest obstacle of this is karma, is how the homeostasis of pure consciousness has been affected, and like we could say how likely it is to get out and transcend its lower nature. Okay, so the more crud you have early on, this is simple, a number line of ignorance and awareness of duality. So whatever you have that's crumbled on, determines how much awareness you're going to have. It's not about like anything other than awareness and ignorance. It's about, do you have the awareness and authenticity to then transcend your lower nature? And at the same time, it is also nature, which is taking care of this whole process, to appear to be something going on. So that there's an appearance of something going on. But truly, this is like a sad attempt to be real in consciousness terms. This is a sad attempt to be real, because when you're looking really truly, you see zeros and ones. You see, this is just like a video game. This is this is a real video game. Okay, sad attempt at something real. Now, but again, what gets in your way? Your environment. Full on your environment. Who's around you? What duality you face? What ignorance you bounce off of to get to awareness? Or does that ignorance consume you and make you ignorant? See, it's a number line of ignorance and awareness of God and illusion. So, solitude is important, especially because you're in the simulation. There's other characters running around. There's not characters, they're nature. Okay, they are existence. They're the same as you. Not better or worse. So this is where concepts come in. You get rid of your concepts around all that. All of it. Get rid of the concepts around it. Because it's about what is. It's about what is real. It is about what is within your internal state. It's if you feel any kind of inner turmoil or resistance or duality, it's pointing to something. There's something that's there. There's a thorn where you're sitting forever until the thorn pokes you. Okay, so that's your thorn. It's a radar. It's an active radar while you're existing. So where are you inauthentic? Where's your foundation unstable? Okay, where do you think your foundation is unstable, but truly it's more stable than you're even willing to admit until then you see it. And then you're like, all right, yeah, that's right. Because it's all stages. There's stages of development. This is a play. Can't have the good without the bad. Okay, we could say. They say like existence is going it's a dying existence. It's like space-time, the whole thing of space-time is leading to the end of existence. Or so to speak, the dying universe, okay? That is just this simulate. That's just the credits of this realm. That's all that it is. Okay, that's just the credits of this realm. Every plane of existence is existing right now at all times. Right now. Right now. This is the mind of God. Okay, it's not like it's human brain. We're coming out of the human brain. This is what this looks like. It's not like you're trying to be any kind of way. You're not trying to speak any kind of way. You are letting all that go and allowing authenticity, allowing truth, allowing God, allowing awareness, allowing truth to be center stage opposed to concept. And then you see those who are living in concept are ignorant, and they're standing on nothing. They're clowns. So then they'll like be like, "Oh, why are you being loud? Come debate me on it. Come actually have a conversation on why me being loud is a you problem, or me being loud. Yeah, see, that's not a you problem. There's no problem. It's your internal state, and the fact that I'm being loud, the fact of your generational curses of maybe your parents, your teachers, allowing that to be an excuse to come and be negative, to allow your internal state to then project out. It's an excuse. It's not. People don't get mad over the things. It's a subtle, unconscious excuse to be of lower nature, of truth, their truth of their being, because they haven't gone deep. It's not authentic. It's not full. It's not standing on anything. So it's inauthentic. So it's not. It's incoherent. They can't stand on it. So all they have is being more loud. That's all they have. All they have is ignorance. You live in reality and you see they're living in concept. And that duality allows you to live in more authenticity, because you're living in authenticity, they'll pressure test you, because frequency, the higher the frequency, and then there's a low frequency. It's going to try and spike up at the high frequency, because it's how frequency is. Okay, it's all frequential. So everything is energy in motion. The entirety of existence is energy in motion. It might appear to be something going on, and there is. But that's how the energy in motion manifests. That's existence. So really, when we're living in concept, God is sleeping. Okay, when we're living in a delusion, awareness is sleeping. It's duped into this illusion, this simulation, this game, this world, this play. Okay. The more awareness you have in it, though, the more you see through it. The more debaucherous, we could say. Because listen, the roots of heaven stem in hell. You're not going to transcend something without knowing what the opposite is. You're not going to really exist if there's no duality, because there's nothing to prove that you're existing. Okay, so the very reason there's nothing to prove that you're existing to this realm and to this level of existence within this realm, within physicality, within the world, within this realm, it has to be like you're justifying it to something. Okay, so you could say it doesn't exist, or it's the only thing that exists. So this is the black and white of the lizard brain of the mind. This is why it's a sad attempt to be real. You really understand that it's a sad attempt to be real, but at the same time, it's not a sad attempt. It is real. It's probably the best attempt. It's the only attempt. There's no attempt. It just is. Okay, saying sad attempt is just dualistic language to get the point across. Reality is evolution takes care of all ignorance, and you could say that the end of time. That's the contradiction completing its cycle completely, and then becoming non-existent, and then therefore coming back to fullness. This is why everything related to love, contentment, or peace, or dopamine is on a high frequency dopamine reaction. The thing of dopamine is a remembrance of a high frequency. I'm not saying go do anything that stimulates dopamine. I'm saying dopamine itself is a remembrance of a high frequency. That's why people want it, because the high frequency is God. The high frequency is awareness. The high frequency is the source, is the thing that we just talked about existing and not existing. The only thing that exists, okay, because ultimate wholeness. That's our source. That's all of those high frequencies represent that. Okay. So that's why people are like looking for themselves or this or that, or they want to belong somewhere or something, that's because something deep, and the only thing that exists within them remembers that there's wholeness. There's only wholeness. But there's a mind and there's an illusion that there is not wholeness and that there's separation. So there's this whole thing. Simulation. So in the duality and paradox of it is that I'm doing this so that this can be grounded into this being, and then but this is also truth. So this being can stand on truth and pure authenticity, while also vicariously by proxy putting this out into the frequencies, the waves of the waters here. So it's the electromagnetic field, okay? It's all that is. It's all connected. Yogis in the Himalayas, you don't think they do anything, they're just meditating all day. That frequency is, the energy cannot be created nor stored. That frequency maintains within reality, which means they're like really hard in with the source. They're pushing out their frequencies into reality, similar to what I am doing here. And see, there is no me. And that's not just like, oh, I'm a non-dual. No, this is like reality. The reality of it is there is no me. Oh, but I have a nervous system. That goes beyond that is ignorant to say, because I've already discussed that this is real. It's on every level. It's on every real level. There's a real level to it. Real. They're getting around it. Real. So, but there is no me. Why? Because this is a higher truth than thinking there is only a name, there's a character. In truth, this is just a pool and mess of frequency. This is simply an electromagnetic field. Okay, I'm not being smart. Okay, I'm being wise. Okay, and there's nothing claiming this. I don't take any pride in this. This is just so this pure consciousness can be standing in authenticity, projecting it into reality, and therefore strengthening the bond with the source here in some form or fashion of what that means. Okay. There's only a circle. There's only zero. Zero is still zero. It's condensed into one, creating an illusion. See, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the mind tells you. It matters what is. And it's like, oh, but like everything you're saying is subjective. Everything about God is subjective. Okay, enough things are subjectively true, they're going to be objectively true, because that's how reality works. Everything is subjective. Everything is selfish in nature because there's only one. Okay, therefore, go fucking find God and then come back to me and tell. And I wouldn't even say I told you so, because I don't care. Okay. But that's I told you so right there. So live in reality. What I was gonna say brings the obstructions in your reality, or the frequency that can hold you down or propel you. If you're living with a negative person, if you're living in a cluttery neighborhood or environment in general, inside and out, is your mind cluttered? Is your environment cluttered? It's the same thing. So, are you wearing polyester? Are you wearing polyester? Don't wear polyester. That is not good. Wear pure cotton, pure silk. Cater to your frequency. Cater to a high frequency. Be outside. So, and then there's the opposite. It's number line. So you can see how awareness digs itself out of ignorance, and how ignorance is necessary for awareness to be able to do that, and how there is only one coin. And, within the realm of this, there's a little there's just one coin. One is necessary for the other, because it's within anything to be existing. If something is existing, there has to be something going on, which means there has to be 0 and 1, which means where the mind is, the universe is. The more you come back to realizing that it's all just the universe, the less that there's something there. The less, because in essence, if me just like, sure, it's a back and forth, it's a projection into reality from what I already know this, but it's also like creating more authenticity for the being. But that's only because the duality is there that goes against that authenticity. So this has to be pushed out. See, there's an ignorance there that awareness can shine over. Okay, disintegrate. So when there's less ignorance, because this is talking about transcending back to the source, the less ignorance, the less contrast, meaning the disintegration of one and returning back to zero, which means ultimately there is at a point where there is only existence and no man can say anything because it doesn't matter. There's nothing to prove at all. At all. So the only reason we're in duality is to prove ourselves in a way. Okay. As above, so below. Existence is everywhere all at once. As within, so without. So, alright, yeah. Be in awareness. Notice the contrast of the mind. It's like people like pull out their phones in front of people while they're eating because their mind is so cluttered that it needs to be distracted because they can't be in their mind. I'd comment like just we're flowing. Find the next thing. There's downloads because there's space. There's no ignorance. There's no fear. There's no doubt. There's just peace. And then it downloads in. Common sense downloads in. This is why it's awareness and ignorance. It's the disintegration of ignorance. Okay. Disintegration of concept. Dimming of contradiction. Okay. See? Because I'm trying to talk about awareness. You got to be aware, so you come back into your awareness. And this is the topic. Do that. Recognize, be aware. You're aware in third dimensional reality. This is awesome. You have a little cat. You know how awesome, beautiful little poodlum cats. Okay, I have a name for little cats they can just manipulate. They're water. Little poodlum. They're adorable. You can see the nature. You can see the snow driving. You got the window down. You can see the snow coming down. It's on the face. It hits the nervous system. There's a system going on. Whole system. Simulation. Energy in motion. Whatever you want to call it. It's real. The less clutter in the mind, the more this can be true. The more this can be aware. You can be aware of truth, of reality, of existence. The more concept, the more clutter, the more you're worrying about things that outside of you. Things outside of you and things outside of you that want you and rely on you to be invested in them from any level of subtlety that could be maliciously or lovingly. So there starts to be a deep appreciation, especially once gone through duality. There's a deep, deep appreciation for your awareness. Because now it's like there's dimming of contradiction more and more at all times. Because there's awareness, the spark is awakened. Okay, it only gets easier, more aware, more subtle. Because now it's been awakened. Keep your attention on awareness, God, source, intuition. Keep your attention on God. Understand all of this is nature, and all of this is a sorry attempt to appear to be real in truth, because there's no free will. There's only a thorn in your side and you get up, and there's like all these concepts around it. There is a sad attempt at something real. However, you still gotta be on some level of that attempt. You still gotta be in that level, because that level of reality exists so that it can appear to be the way it is. They can be the way it is while also understanding it is all God. As much awareness as you just be in awareness. You're not trying, don't try. You've already lost when you start trying because it's in the concept. You're going into concept. You're going into the world and thinking there's separation. There's no separation. God is the only thing that exists. Boom. Boom. See, God is the only thing that exists. So rest in God. And then there's the nervous system that had been learned from your environment, because the environment reflects off your body, mind, and your nervous system. That affects your nervous system. And then when awareness comes into play, the nervous system and the body, mind trying to pull you back into whatever frequency your environment is, back into comfort. It's not comfort. This is why people who have abusive parents or whatever go date abusive people, because it's a chemical bond to the cortisol, to high cortisol. It's a chemical bond to familiarity, whether it be good or bad. So awareness, God, awareness of God, awareness of God, awareness, God. Like, try it and you'll see, wow, I was in an ignorant frequency while I was doubting that. It's like that, because the truth doesn't care what you think. The truth is the truth, and you're on any kind of frequency because the truth wants you to be on that frequency. Okay? There is no, oh man, there's the illusion of amen. There's the real dense physical illusion of amen. And that to the physical dense illusion-based mind is in fact seen as amen. But we need to remember what I'm fucking saying. We need to actually, like, not just listen with the mind, but like listen with awareness. God. Like, this is what I'm saying. This is how I'm standing on business, because this is all foundation, a steady, dense, grounded foundation. So notice your whole spectrum of awareness in reality, and go with your authentic truth, source nature. Where'd that key go? Well, I will have to find that key. It doesn't matter. I'll find it. This is where faith comes in. You can't be living in fear. You just gotta be like, I'll find it and see what happens. Really go and find it. It's common sense. Go and find it. Alright, I'll go and find it. This is how stories are created. This is how life force guides you. You just go and do it authentically, and then it's like guides you because you did it authentically. Oh, there it is. See? Like, it's right there. Have faith. Do not have fear. Second you start having fear, second you start having doubt and guilt, shame, it's a limiting frequency. It's a low collective frequency at this time. This is a low frequency. You want to be in that. And it's real, because I'm talking at every level is real. It gets in your nervous system, you see? It's real. Dense. Grit and grace. It's the illusion of grit, but it's real, so you see through it, you transcend it, you have some balls, you stand on business, you understand your authentic nature is standing on truth and a foundation. You understand any petty insult is exactly that, and it has no backing, and it cannot stand on anything. Truly, it's this simple. Pressure test your philosophy. Pressure test God and see what happens. It's like what are you going to, you're pressure testing truth. That's what you're doing. You're pressure testing truth. And guess what? You find that you're not pressure testing it. You're not claiming it. The ultimate humility is understanding this is appearing to be real. appearing to be a storyline, appearing to be free will and choice. See? That's faith and surrender. It can work through you more. It's paradoxical. It can work through you more as you're surrendered than if you're thinking you are a guy. But it's also determining whether or not you think that or whether or not you're going to surrender. So it is in essence an attempt to appear to be real. It's the appearance of, it's the illusion, is Maya. It is literally controlled by something beyond the realm, beyond all of it, beyond your spectrum of thinking, beyond anything human. Because anything given from the human is sourced in what existence wants for that. So I think this is a good ending.